Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness and the highest levels of love light. I'm just going to go into a little flow and kind of see where this takes us. So this is meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear basis. And we'll kind of go from here, or go from there, or go from here to there. So as we drop in, we allow ourselves to tune into the world, the energy, the whirl of the energy that is floating all around us, that is allowing us to float or to stay buoyant, so to speak, in this gravitational pull, in this influctuation of energies and electrical exchanges and electromagnetic frequencies. For we are a conductor, if you will. We are the maestros, we are the orchestra orchestrating a symphony of symphonetic measures and adjustments and frequencies and measures and adjustments. So we invite you to tune into the weight that you are carrying, whether it is conscious or unconscious, subconscious. We invite you to tune into the way in which you are measuring your own frequency and make the relevant adjustments to allow you to create from a higher, lighter bandwidth. We invite you to tune into the weight that you are carrying, the tune that you are carrying, the weight that you are tuning into, the weight that is holding one down or back, we might say, in the past. And we invite you to look way past where you are currently being held. For you are constantly being held from one perspective. Yet many of us feel as if we are being held back by the weight that we are carrying. And so you can see, as we play with these words, we are tuning into a frequency of weights and measures, of measures in scale, of harmonic adjustments. And so as we adjust our own harmonics, as we allow ourselves to tune into how it is that we feel moment to moment, we allow these harmonics to lift us up, to help us dust off the particles that are stuck to us, that are making us feel less than whole, that are making us feel less than complete. For many of us feel as if we have a mission that we must complete, yet we are not sure what that mission might be. And yet many of us do not realize that we are here to complete the mission of needing to complete a mission. Many of us have just come here to be in the completeness. And that is our mission, to restore our own center space of frequency, of bliss and love. And in doing so, we transmit a signal that is strong and connected and allows others to feel strong and connected in the presence of this signal. And would that be enough? Are we able to let go of the weight of holding on to a particular pathology or pathway that we may not necessarily even be able to see, yet we feel compelled to follow in old formats and tracks? Many of us are feeling the compilation, the mix of frequencies and energies that are compelling us to move forward, to expand, to be part of something bigger. And yet we are the bigger. I'm hearing bigger, bigger. We are the part of that. We are part of this bigger part. We are part of the completeness that is one with the energies that we are looking to complete. All kinds of plays on words. We are playing a part of the entirety of the whole picture. For if we were to look at a piece of artwork, we would see that you need all of the brush strokes to come together, to weave together the picture that creates a story, that tells a story through each brush stroke, that allows us to feel into the sense of being brushed onto canvas, to feel part of the brush strokes, to feel part of the canvas, to recognize that we are all part of the color, the brush, the canvas, and the creator. Yet we are being expressed on this and within this canvas. So this particular framework that we are currently brushing ourselves into may feel a little sticky at times. We may feel the desire to know more, to have more, to understand more. And yet, as we allow ourselves to go one step at a time, this will come to us. For as it is drawn to us, we are drawing it into our perception. Therefore, it is becoming part of our creation, our story, our chapter, our artwork. I'm seeing a drawing, right? So as we allow ourselves to merge with this charge, to feel it uplift us, as we let go of the need to carry weight, we feel that it is time to celebrate the life that we are currently part of. To celebrate the currents of life that are carrying us to our next stage, if you will, that are carrying us and uplifting us into so much more. And yet there is no more than what is right now, for all of it is connected. We invite you to breathe into the heart and to feel how connected and tuned in you can be with your own body. To feel how tuned in and connected you can feel with the body of the earth that carries you. How tuned in you can feel with the recognition that we are all here of our own accord, our own harmonic, our own frequency. And we are all creating chapters of the book. Meshuku Yewaha Inish. I'm going to go into some light language. Meshuku wa ene shikime wayeti shi. Kuniwa he shi akini he bak ahe shine kuye hene bak e shine yahe enik eha ishu yini at ishikini. Kainere e shi ba iniki ba hu ushiniki ahene e di ishik inihe. Shiwaya maku inishi niniki by it ishi kuniwa it ishuye nikine. So we invite you to allow yourself to let go and allow the frequencies to assist you in adjusting your frequencies, in clearing out the old and allowing for the new adjustments to occur, for feeling into the expedited and exponentially heightened wavelengths that we now have access to. What can we let go of that does not necessarily fit into our vocabulary anymore? What self-depleting words can we pick out and refresh in a different way so that we can see things in a different way? So that we can feel things inside in a different way. So that we can feel things in a different way. That's all a play on words, you guys. How much can we allow ourselves to feel? How much can we allow ourselves to I'm just holding that space. I'm just seeing like how important it is right now for us just to feel and to allow that to happen, to unfold, to move and ripple through us. I'm being called to just talk briefly about this. I may have mentioned it before, but I had a beautiful person that I had the pleasure of working with the other day who is, we'll say, very accomplished and has a very wonderful sense of humor and has been through a lot potentially in their lives. And I'm just getting to know this particular client, fellow human. And the reason I'm sharing this is this particular person had never felt, they don't know how to make that connection. They don't know how to feel inside of their bodies. They presumably feel love. They presumably feel gratitude and appreciation, but they're not sure how to get there now. They're not sure what that feels like, really. And so the reason I'm saying it's so beautiful is because now we're all being given an opportunity to just be in our hearts and recognize there's a lot of people out there that are like that and have full compassion for them. When we work with one another and when we really see that other person, we're falling in love with ourselves. We see, I can see myself in others. I can see their gifts, some of their vulnerabilities, some of the things that maybe they can't see. And I've been gifted with that from one perspective, yet I'm not choosing to say that's my mission. And I'm leading back to this original statement that the guides are sharing. My mission is just to be in that space. And I feel like my mission now at this stage of my life is to live life. And I can help people in many different ways. It doesn't just have to look like one thing. For years, I had difficulty with that. I need to be a medium. I need to be a psychic. It needs to be yoga. It needs to be this path. It needs to be that path. And all of a sudden, all of those got spun into my world, and I am all of those things. I'm sharing that because the energies that we're in right now are asking us to just be in all of those spaces and just to be present with whatever comes up, whatever that looks like for us. Some people have a more direct path. Some people know this is what makes me happy, but other people are being shaken up. The word I keep hearing is ruffle. Feathers are being ruffled, rough around the edges, ripples, ledges, right? Layers, crunchiness. But a lot of people are feeling something. They're feeling a call to something. They're feeling an urge to something, and they're not sure what it is. And you guys watching this video are probably going to have more and more people coming to you wanting to have these conversations, right? Wanting to understand more, because many of us have been on this path for a while, and we do understand maybe more right now than that other person might. And we might be able to give them clarity about certain things just by having a conversation, just by holding space, just by holding compassion for them. And I'm bringing this up because there's a lot of people who have this heavy weight on them that they're not doing enough. That's something that comes up all of the time in session. They have this weight that they are not necessarily helping as many people as they could. They have this weight that they don't understand enough about how our reality works, so on and so forth, whatever that is. So what I'm being shown is feel into whatever it is that feels heavy and feel that. Are we feeling sad that our parents are not doing well, or we have a loved one who, I keep getting this reference to this, a lot of the spiritual groups are like, you're going to get left behind. I keep seeing, that's a whole other video, but let's see, is that making you feel heavy? Let it go. What can you do to lighten your load? When you lighten all of that baggage, that's the ripple effect. And then other people, consciously or unconsciously, can sense that sigh of relief. And then we end up being able to bring more, because it's like a sponge, right? That's been oversaturated. Can't get any more because we're hanging on to too much stuff. Those things can be concepts about how our reality works, ideas about the new earth, ideas about the only way that we need to follow in order to get here, to get there. We are in a multidimensional reality. So it's going to look different from moment to moment for many of us. And that can be very off-putting. So the more we can just allow ourselves to let go, breathe, be in our hearts, clearly the better. But let's get back and I'll end on this note. So the path that many of us have chosen may seem difficult at times and may seem difficult to bear, but yet here you are bearing the bearing seas, so to speak. For we are on the precipice of going where no man has gone before. And here we are walking through that door. And that door is not what we think it is. So the more we can get out of the need to focus on what we think things should be, what we think things are, what we think we need to do, those thoughts are laden, are heavy, and are being encouraged to be renewed. Meaning, find a new route, a new route, a new way of thinking so that we can lay aside the old programming and allow ourselves to unfold into the new elements of our grand design, of elements that are available to us, yet we cannot see them until we let go. I'm seeing people with like full hands and they can't grab this new bag because their hands are too full. Like, oh, I can't let this go. Could be a lot of things. So we end on this note. What you are carrying with you or carrying forward to the new world, to the new reality, does not have to be as grandiose as we think. In fact, the more we can simplify and get back to the basics, the less gross, grandiose, gross. I'm just seeing all of this stuff, you guys, like that we could just, we don't need it. Let go of it. Trust that the answers will come as we loosen the binds that have bound us to old times. And as we do this, we feel into the resonance of a deeper mold. That's a play on words. I'm seeing mycelium mold, but in a good way. But I'm also seeing like a frequency that can hold us, like a jello mold. I'm seeing a jello mold. And then we can kind of be a little bit more comfortable and supported, and yet it's fluid at the same time. And then we can like create it like Play-Doh. It doesn't have to be so rigid. Again, back to rigid, ripple, chips, crunchy. I tend to relate a lot of things to food. And remember that all you need is inside of you. You have access to this capacity to expand. I'm seeing kneading dough. I've had a lot of references to this, baking bread. In the old times, they had a holiday where you basically when you don't eat leavened bread I think it's days, I don't know, it used to be called days of unleavened bread, but it's the idea of letting go of the things that puff us up that we're hanging on to. This could be ego too. It could be ego, it could be anger, resentment, blame, shame, judgment, any of those things that can be seen as an energetic baggage. It doesn't mean that we're going to be able to just drop it all in one moment. But it does mean that as we are progressing, it should be easier and easier for us to lighten our loads. And if it isn't, we're being called to stop and feel all of that so that we can recognize, do we want to take that with us? Do we want this to be our signature? Do we want to bring that into the room with us? Can we leave it at the door and enter into this next doorway, which is a passageway, which is a portal, and essentially a stargate? I'm seeing this in reference to potentially, is it the solstice or the equinox that's coming up? I always mix that up. So there are a lot of energetic components, and I'm being shown drop as much as you can so that we can move into this next cycle a little bit more clear-hearted is what I'm hearing. So heavy on the heart, right? Let go, let go, let go. And that also has to do with us. Are we judging ourselves? Do we feel like we're not doing enough? Are we, so on and so forth? That stuff doesn't need to, we don't need to hang on to that. All right, so I'm gonna end on that note. I hope someone found this helpful. And in love and light, namaste.